Internet slow.
Oh.
And now, your official TigerBait live show with Mike Scarborough and Buddy Songy starts now.
All right, everybody, welcome in. I think we're going to have a big show tonight. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about. I guess we can talk fall baseball, men's and women's basketball, the upcoming Beth Tarina softball season, huh, buddy?
Yeah, all of those are possible topics. Don't forget about LSU over Arkansas by 1 point. LSU, Western KY 645. And, of course, I think there's a coaching search going on, and it just seems like, Mike, you live to work all day long, and you say, boy, I think I've got some solid scoop. And then the next morning you wake up and it's changed, and then the next night it's changed. And so patience pills for everybody. But I think I got to give kudos to you guys in case you missed it. Great show on Monday night with Preston and Zach and Mike. And here we are 2 nights later. I don't know what I can add to it, but you guys did a fantastic job.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, everybody. Big show tonight, TigerBait Live. And there's a lot of Lane Kiffin drama. We've been dropping tidbits on our Tiger Den message board day and night. In fact, some of what I put out this morning is already changed. And so that's why you need to subscribe to TigerBait for $1. I think you really enjoy the website. You need to go there and subscribe. We're dropping tidbits on our message board all day long. And it's getting very, very interesting to say the least. And that's why we've got the funny thumbnail for the show and much more. But if you enjoy the show throughout this upcoming hour, please hit the like button. And we're going to be talking the latest with Lane Kiffin. We're going to get to as many of your questions and comments as possible. But let's dive to a few of them right off the bat. Brad David, Mike, you were right what you said on Buddy's show about that Kiffin documentary being propaganda. I don't trust Kiffin. Look, there's good and bad. There's going to be a lot of excitement if he ends up being the LSU coach. But there's also some downsides to it. And I think you need to know what you're getting yourselves into. I think the good overweighs the bad, but look, he's got a bag full of quirks with him. And sometimes you talk about what's the right fit, and certainly a guy who's been in the SEC as long as he has, makes him the right fit. But there's also some things that could make him the wrong fit. That's not necessarily what's on the gridiron.
Yeah, look, from an exciting standpoint, you could see that it would be a seamless transition if this thing did go down. And it starts with Austin and those guys that he's worked for. Let's be honest, folks, you got to have money. And I'm a firm believer whoever you keep, with this new coach. Austin and his team have got to stay, in my opinion.
Well, and that's a tricky situation right there.
Well, but I mean, he's worked with Lane before. Is that relationship good or is it rocky? It's not.
Not good.
Okay, so you got another problem. Now you talk about the timing aspect of it. And, you guys put it out there Monday night that you thought that the leak that Ole Miss had given an ultimatum came basically from his camp and his agent. And then the next day after the visit to Baton Rouge, he goes on Pat McAfee and patently denies that he don't know where that came from. And so, look, the guy and his agent do as good as anybody in the country. I'll guarantee you one thing. John Sumrall and Lane Kiffin are going to make appreciably bigger money in the coming years. John Sumrall is going to get a big gig out of this thing, and Lane Kiffin is going to reset the coaching salary market wherever he goes. Because Ole Miss, Florida, and LSU, and I know you've chronicled it, LSU threw it out there, and it's hard not to take a second or third look. But just want to caution, he was this close to having that Auburn job and got cold feet at the last minute. So you're going to have to take the patience pills. Anybody that thinks they know definitively, I don't think Lane knows right now. Do you?
I'll say this.
Do you think he knows right now?
I think he does.
Okay.
I think he's probably trying to figure out how to thread the needle and when to do it and how to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any way to do it that's not going to be ugly.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's what I can tell you. And we're working the phones, and I think our sources on this are as good as it gets. And it's been very helpful that our sources that are as good as it gets are guys in the Gainesville market that have great reputations, as well as someone in the Ole Miss market that we trust mightily. And so what we've tried to do on TigerBait is put stuff out on the message board that's what we're hearing, and not necessarily that we fully endorse it or we say that's how it's going to end up. But as it comes, we're trying to provide it in the best context that we can. And I can tell you this morning, I put out a report on our message board after talking to our Florida guy and our Ole Miss guy that the Florida folks were feeling mightily confident. And just before we went on air, it's flipped. And because the LSU folks have never wavered, they've been confident all along. In fact, the Florida stuff had been quiet. And I believe what's happened is what I said Saturday night on our live show, on Monday night, with Preston and Zach, was that it's not so much that it's the contract and the guaranteed money for Lane, it's the NIL pot of money. And I think that's where if he ends up at LSU, that's going to be why LSU won.
Well, let me ask you again, though. So was that relationship with Austin and Lane?
That's what I'm.
No, but was that damaged when he came back to LSU?
Yes.
Okay. So I just
that's why with this pot of money and this money raised, what I'll say is that Lane Kiffin needs to sit in a room with Austin Thomas and talk it over, because if he ends up at LSU because of the NIL pot of money that he's going to be able to spend,
they got to work together.
He needs to seriously thank Austin Thomas and others. And so, and by the way, if Lane Kiffin ends up at LSU, his reasoning for coming to LSU is the same reason Austin Thomas came to LSU. So you can't fault a guy. So look, this is all stuff that has to play out, and it's inside baseball, but it's also vitally important. All right, everybody, like Fire 3449 says, hit the like button, guys. Wilk, I'm ready to enroll at Lane State University. Stephen Miller, what's good, folks? Steve Miller, one of our great guys, like all the others previous. Carl the Cat Dunn, asking him what's good, Miller. Purple Mafia says he's blank ready. And yeah, Stephen Miller here for the Hilltopper breakdown of the Alcorn State recap.
Well, like we said, look, there's a lot of positive, Mike.
Yeah,
What he brings, what he look. Let's be honest. Lane Kiffin has coveted this job for probably 5 years, right? And he knows what is involved here. The expectations are higher, the money is higher, the guarantee is higher. But we get into this question: as do you legitimately think that he can get over the top and make it to Atlanta, compete for SEC championships, and compete and win national championships? Because that is the standard after LSU has achieved that 3 times in the last 20-something years.
It's so different now, buddy. You know, to win a national championship, you have to have a lot of things go your way.
Absolutely.
And now with the parity and NIL and having to have a team build chemistry in a matter of months rather than years, every year.
Sure.
The luck factor, it goes up.
There's no doubt.
Exponentially. So you can
Ohio State's a perfect example last year. They got their butts beat by Michigan. Nobody in the country would have predicted.
And by the way, Lane Kiffin can see it happening himself right now because they spent all that money last year. Last year's team at Ole Miss was supposed to be the team. He didn't expect this team to be on the verge of 11-1. He probably thought they were going 8-4. But like you said on your show, he's also had the luxury of a very safe schedule this season. When you look at who they've had to beat, and of course they went and lost to Georgia. Nice win over Oklahoma, but they never would have imagined that this team was going to be where they're at. So that's what's making it all difficult. And at the same time, it's like if you're Ole Miss, and I mean I know everybody wants to take a shot at Ole Miss because they're a rival, but it's like, man, what more can they do? You know, they've kind of done everything right. You know, I don't know how much empathy LSU fans have for Ole Miss fans, but man, I think because what's happened in the last few days when you see the way Lane Kiffin has conducted himself, if you're an LSU fan, and we've seen it on our message board, a lot of our subscribers have not only have empathy, but they also understand if he's going to act like that to them, is that something he's going to do once he's here? And so that's the negative that comes with Lane Kiffin.
Well, look, you know that he wants to coach that team. You know that he wants to see how far they can go. First time they're in the playoffs. They've never made it to Atlanta, never won an SEC championship, have won 1 national championship in 1960. They claim 2 others which are not actually accepted or talked about. But I think the conventional wisdom is that you can do more here, potentially, than you can do at Ole Miss. And, of course, he's got a lot of ties with Florida. His wife was the daughter of John Reeves, got a relationship with Spurrier, don't pay taxes over there, all those things. And so this thing goes up and up. But can you imagine having this hanging over your head? You're 10-1. And at some point, if you leave, you're going to have to go look eye to eye to those guys and say, I got to leave you at this time. And I think we all agree that once that decision comes down, Ole Miss is not, if it's not Ole Miss, he's out the door.
And by the way, just to say this, all the stuff that led up to this with the governor and a university president and all that circus weeks ago, I don't think that phases Lane Kiffin because he's a chaos agent himself. So in that regards, he might be a fit. I don't think that phases him.
Look, the majority of the Tiger fan base wants him. The one thing that I asked a couple people this week, and it still bothers me a little bit, with his daddy, Monty Kiffin, being one of the greatest defensive coordinators in college, well, more so pro football, came and worked with Lane at the end. I'm just wondering why Lane has not picked up more nuances on the defensive end. We know he loves to gamble. We know he loves to forget the field goal and go for it on 4th down. We know that he loves to troll. We know you're gonna get excitement every week. But on the other hand, that's got to be weighing heavily on him because there's no easy way. You said it earlier. This is going to be ugly, and there's going to be negativity regardless of how this plays out. You got to have thick skin in these days.
No, you better, because you're going to Oxford next year.
Yeah.
LSU got A&M 2 years in a row with the new 9-game schedule, and Ole Miss gets LSU 2 years in a row
At their place.
So the battery thrown in Knoxville, man, what's that going to be like if that ends up happening? Dane Bergeron with a super chat. The new coach will get baptized by fire. Next year's schedule is brutal. We play everyone except the 76 Steelers and the 85 Bears. Thank you, Dane. And you're right. There's so much work to be done. And we're sitting here on November 19th, and LSU's current recruiting class seems to be holding very well. And
but that's what I was going to add on.
If there's some defections, I'm okay with there being some defections. There's been already. Just don't lose those 2 linemen at the top, whatever you do.
Well, but I was going to say, though, that is one of the advantages. I think you have a seamless transition if he comes in here. Are you kidding me? He's the rock star that'll get everybody to come over here. You may get some guys that are committed somewhere else right now, but that's why you and I were talking about December 1. You can't let this thing get past the signing date.
And not only that, if he's here early and having the whole month of December to evaluate and get ready for the January portal period. And I'll say this. I would like for him to sit down with Austin and make that happen. But whoever it was that found Chambliss and pulled that trigger and made that happen, I hope they come with him. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's been the whole ball of wax. All right, I need to pay some bills. Let's hear from Mike and Alex over at Pride Roofing.
Hi, I'm Michael with Pride Roofing.
I'm Little Alex.
Have you been affected by wind, hail, and tornadoes on the North Shore? Well, we're here to help.
Insurance claim, no problem.
We also have a new franchise location in New Orleans.
We don't build projects, we build memories.
Though you know Pride Roofing is the official roofer of TigerBait.com.
In fact, notify TigerBait and we'll give you a free roof inspection. And on top of that, you get a free year subscription. Remember to call us at 855-PRIDE-16.
855-PRIDE-16. Call them. Say that you heard about them on TigerBait, and they're going to pay for you to have TigerBait Premium free for a year. That's a $99 value, and they absolutely foot the bill. And I can tell you from firsthand experience in the last 24 hours, the missus and I finally sold the old house, and the inspection came through, and the roof has a problem. Mike was out there bright and early this morning and already got the bid, and he came in, honest to God. He came in, a competitor, the inspector actually gave us a quote from another competitor, and I didn't tell Mike, swear to God. He was $2,500 less this afternoon. And I didn't tell him that until after he gave me his price.
And he personally works all of the Baton Rouge.
And by the way, the quality of the shingles was 2 grades higher. That's why you want to do business with Pride Roofing. You cannot beat them. And again, anywhere in South Louisiana, main branch in Hammond, Mike Faraday, a Broadmoor and LSU grad, known him my whole life. Just fantastic to do business with, and he's going to get us fixed up in a hurry.
Residential, commercial, and don't forget metal roofs. And look, all we ask is an opportunity, folks. 1-855-PRIDE-16. You will be very happy with the way they interact with you. Nice guys, classy people. Give them a call. 1-855-PRIDE-16. Tell them Mike and Buddy sent you over.
You talk about Dykes Electrical, the official electrical company of TigerBait.com. No matter how big or small your electrical needs might be, they are wired for success. You need a brand new 10-story office building, they can wire that. A 200,000 square foot warehouse that you need built, they can wire that. Expanding your existing commercial building, changing out a breaker, whole electrical panel, just a receptacle, upgrading the old lighting in your home office. They can do all of it. That's why you want to give them a call today at the number on your screen, 225-216-9180 for a free estimate on your project. Make sure to let them know that TigerBait sent you in. And you see it on the screen there, Struby's. We were there Friday night, and I did something different. I had the 9-ounce filet, and it was to die for. But I can tell you what, I'm going back because the missus got the steak Diane, and it looked amazing. Took a bite of it. It was insane. We got the lamb lollipops. They were absolutely packed. It was a game weekend, and there were several people there in there that I know were there because of seeing them here on TigerBait Live. And so book your reservation at Strubys.com. You can also see the menu. And again, 107 3rd Street, downtown Baton Rouge.
Hey, can we give away a little Manda sausage? I just came up
Yeah.
with this idea.
Yep, go ahead.
At some point, I want you to have a contest and have everybody that's involved pick who the coach will be and what day and time that it breaks. Now, legitimate, not a rumor, but legitimate, where we know this is going down. And that'd be a lot of fun. A lot of picks on Kiffin right now, a lot of picks on this guy, that guy. But let's have a contest. You get to pick, you're going to win some Manda sausage. And oh, by the way, Trucking with Casper, I still have your T-shirt. It is a collector's item.
Man, we haven't seen him in a while.
I'm saying, would you please email me?
I'm starting to worry he was in an accident or something.
But anyway, let's have a contest one of these days instead of scores. When will the LSU coach become a reality, and who are you picking? What would you say? 80%?
And what is reality? That it becomes live that he's the guy, or he's being introduced?
Well, I mean, it's hard to predict the introduction. So when everybody knows he's going to be the next coach.
All right. Scott comes in with a super chat. Is that my buddy Scott? Big super chat, $49. Thank you, Scott. And he's saying it's Lane, baby, with 3 of these.
It's amazing. The optimism has gone back up in the last, 5 or 6 hours?
Yeah.
So it's a soap opera.
JLB, Scott, again, thank you so much for that very generous super chat. JLB, Florida doesn't have any sports billionaires, as impossible as that is to believe. It's super frustrating to the fans because they have 5 academic billionaires that won't give a penny for sports. Does that sound right?
I mean, I'm not privy to what they have on the donor list.
That might be right if you think about it. No.
Well, of course, they wanted to have John Summerall as a backup and interviewed him.
Former baseball players. They certainly don't have the roster of big time sports.
And let's be honest, they have not gotten it right with these coaching.
Tim
guys.
Tebow was just a cup of coffee.
No, but I'm saying ever since Dan Mullen, it's been a crapshoot for them.
Right, but I'm talking about the days of where they had speed everywhere and top round draft picks. It's really it's not. So that they don't have a bunch of guys making $100 million on NFL contracts.
No.
I never thought about that. Tyson Messer. So is Kiffin going to be the next head coach with LSU? It sure seems like everything's trending in that direction. At this point, are you thinking it's getting a lesser and lesser possibility that he stays in Oxford?
Look, I think this thing is a soap opera that goes the ebb and flow every day. Something comes out differently. Now, John Summerall, Florida wanted him to interview, and that has been debunked. And so that tells me that John Summerall is getting serious interest from Auburn, LSU, and Ole Miss, Mike. Ole Miss has got to have a contingency plan in place. That's the problem with this whole thing. He's got everybody up, waiting, and you've got to have a plan B and a plan C. And so this is where Verge, and we talked about this last week, are they going to have this ready to go and be able to react once that decision comes down? You better have 2 or 3 names on there that you've already talked to.
And ideally, you know that he's the guy, and there's no waiting game. Like, no wiggle room, no chance of a fast one being pulled on you.
Now, the other thing that's going to be interesting is that if Kiffin does leave, and I think they're going to beat Mississippi State, but if he leaves and doesn't coach the Egg Bowl, and they're winning at 11-1, how does the CFP even seed them, not knowing who will be the interim, and we're assuming it will be Pete?
I think you have to see them no matter. You can't change the way you would seed them.
Well, wait a minute. Florida State got their quarterback hurt, and guess what? They didn't make it, and they won undefeated.
I think that's different.
I know it's different, but you still got a different coach. And so you're not seeding them on what that new coach has done. I'm just saying there's a lot of complications in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Make a decision, Lane. Come on. Although, Mike, you love this kind of stuff. I'm tired of it. And
No. I try to get a break from it. Mandy Schlegel. Sorry if I said it wrong, but I think I got it right. What about the Mulkey video that just announced Lane was in Gainesville? Yeah, that was pretty funny. And and I tweeted that out and I said I was guilty because she was chastising those of us in the media that didn't make the trip to New Orleans. And by the way, I had planned on going to New Orleans also. It was mainly for something I had during the day on Monday that prevented me from making that trip. But no, Kim Mulkey absolutely takes role.
She
will take role, and she notices if you aren't there. And but look, I think I've missed 2 games in 3 years. So
she's something though. You know, she was, and I watched, of course, I watched it live and then watched the replay. But she goes, I know all you people are
can you imagine Kim Mulkey and Lane Kiffin in a room?
Interesting.
Yeah.
She said, oh, by the way, he was in Gainesville yesterday. I know all you guys, where you guys are. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, remember an introductory press conference? Paul Maneri comes and hugs her. He sits down and she says, you know, Coach Maneri, I get it from everybody. People don't think you do a good job of knowing when to take the picture out right there at the intro. So, look, she's very smart, and she knows how to jab and get her message out there. But hell of a basketball team for the Lady Tigers this year. Men, unfortunately, look like they could be disappointing again.
Christian Arsenal with a good question. Who are your backup options? If it's not Lane, who's your number one guy? The guy you want?
I like somebody young that can grow into this job and an upcoming guy. I know Sumrall is not the sexiest thing, but he's done a hell of a job. He's 43 years old.
I would rather Sumrall over Heupel, Brom. I would take Heupel. I mean, I would take Sumrall and Dillingham.
Yeah, I think those are the 2 guys. But I think if you don't get Lane, you got to bring somebody in here, because once again, if you do get Lane, now we're back to the same old 76 with $15 million a year and $100 million buyout.
So who's going to end up with Drinkwitz?
Probably Penn State. Could be. He's leaving.
Yeah.
James Franklin, by the way, got the gig at Virginia Tech in case you missed it this week. $40 million contract. The great thing for Penn State, now they only owe James Franklin $9 million. Don't expect that to happen with BK. He didn't work hard when he was here. How's he going to go and get another gig? I mean, I think BK's done with his football career.
Brad David with a super chat. Has there ever been an LSU quarterback who's regressed as much as Nussmeier did? Do you blame Nuss or the offensive staff? That is a good question. There's a whole lot of blame to go all the way around, and I think Nussmeier should have the majority of it.
I don't think Tommy Hodson regressed, but I will remember this.
His supporting cast.
I will remember this, though. That last year for him was rough. He was getting criticized. His family's hearing it. This is a brutal fan base. They love you, but they also love to criticize you. I think you and I can fall into that category at times. I don't know what happened with Nuss. Wilson Alexander, I don't know if you heard the teleconference, but Frank said he's doubtful, and Wilson said, look, that would be a little sad if he wasn't able to come out there. And so this is what we came up with. Dress him out, you take care of business, and then you bring him in on the last play game and let him have the victory.
I wouldn't do that.
Well, but you and I.
Why is he any different than any other person?
Because he's been here for 5 years.
There's other guys that have done that.
But he's been here 5 years, and I think that he does deserve a little bit of respect.
Well, he'll get it. He gets to walk out with his teammates and get the white panel football and wave. I mean, why would he be owed anything more special than any other senior that walks out on senior day?
Well, because he showed something that is not a lot of nowadays, and that is loyalty. He's been here 5 years. I think he deserves to step on that field and play one more play.
Yeah,
I know you and him don't fry fish, but
no, it's nothing to do with that. It's just, I don't know. Maybe let his teammates vote on it. Oh, Danny girl, I'm sick of watching our terrible offense and guessing in the guessing game. This women's basketball team is LSU only true competitor right now because the men's basketball teams look like football 2023. Hashtag M for M to the Final Four. I think this is absolutely. I'm gonna say absolutely. Right now, I think this is Kim Mulkey's second best team since she's been here. I think they're that good. I think they've got a real chance. And I think in the building, they might think that it's her most talented overall roster.
Yeah, 1 through 12. Yeah.
Yep.
Back to the play calling. That would be quite a difference from having a Lane Kiffin offense after what LSU fans have had to endure this last year. So, hey, I got to ask you this because I know you and Frank, but Frank worked with Lane Kiffin at Tennessee. He was there 1 year. You know, Owen and Frank were on that staff.
But his running backs coach now at Ole Miss has been with him for 10 years.
But do you bring Frank back and do you invite
I think he probably tried to do something.
Coach O as your D-line coach?
There's been rumors about that all week too.
Yeah. But
I think you got to do something. You got to try and find something for Frank. I just don't know. His running backs coach, Joe, I forget his last name, has been with him since Florida International. Or is it FAU? FAU? Where was he at before? FAU or FIU?
Yeah.
Florida Atlantic or Florida International. I can't remember which one.
Well, but here's
Florida, I think
here's what I'm asking you. Do you think Frank is the guy they need to keep on the staff?
If you can.
Okay.
But I don't think it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
I'll say it. He was at FAU. I was right. He's been valuable to LSU, but at the same time, have they ever won anything when Frank's here?
He wasn't here in 19.
Neither was Austin Thomas.
Yeah. Well,
but it's a different thing. I mean, I just think there's a whole lot of myth making about some coaches.
Yeah.
But I think he needs to sit down with Austin Thomas. I think he's done a lot. Kelly Watley, great show, Mike and Buddy. Thank you for that. Shane O'Mac, to me, this is about legacy. Florida had Spurrier and Meyer already. I'm sure Saban is telling Kiffin he can come be an icon at LSU, even more so than Saban, who only won one national championship with LSU. I just have a hard time believing through everything that's gone down this week that Lane Kiffin hasn't had a conversation with Nick Saban.
and now we're getting into that big question, Mike.
And what do you think Nick Saban would tell him if they did?
Well, he's going to say, have you effing grown up? I had to fire you before a national championship game. Have you grown up? Because let me tell you what is going to happen when you go to Baton Rouge. They're going to want you to shake hands. They want you to kiss babies. They're going to want you to win every game. You're going to bring them the offensive fireworks. But have you grown up to the point where you can handle the scrutiny and the incredible infatuation that LSU fans have and live by and with their football program? And that, Mike, is what the real problem that the Tiger fans are worried about. This hire's got to be the right one, else LSU goes back and takes a few steps back. Would you say they're a top 10 program or top 15 right now?
Ole Miss?
LSU.
Look, regardless of one-loss record, it's a top 10 program. I don't care if they went 4-8 this year.
So
program-wise, it's still a top 10 program.
Agreed. But I think maturation is one of the big considerations as to how happy he will be, because look, you're on Twitter all the time. You know he's going to throw barbs at everybody, but he's got to act right, and we're talking about 24/7. He threw a barb at Kirby about Kirby being a little chunky, and Kirby outcoached his butt off in the fourth quarter and stole the game. They had Georgia on the ropes.
Michael Duyon with a super chat message above, and Michael, I can't find it. Can you post it again? Please post it again for me. I try to scroll up, but there's so many messages I can't find it easily.
And I don't know what Nick would be telling Lane Kiffin about this gig.
No, because he has kind of said, "Look, man, are you sure?" Because you know, again, like we talked about on your show earlier. I mean, he's already the. I mean, where does he compare in Ole Miss history with Johnny Vaught? I'm sure he's already passed him. Will Van Heusen, Mike, you seem like you know something that you can't say. Can't tell if you're somber or holding in excitement. No, I'm not. I mean, there's some things I know that I can't say, but it's not like I definitively know what's going to happen, and I'm keeping it a secret. Not at all. Yeah. Tiger Mark, if Kiffin is the next coach, how many guys with LSU ties he keeps on board? As in current staff?
I think that's probably what he's asking.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is.
And look, you assume, not to be assumptive here, but Pete Golden is probably going to try to get one of these gigs and have his own deal, right?
Yeah, and Blake Baker is certainly going to get something, I think. I mean,
well,
Summerall's going to end up somewhere.
But he's going to have to bring him in a top-notch defensive guy because you've got to have complementary football. And we've seen that. We've gone down that road. And so that's going to be an interesting one. You know, there's a lot of people wanting Tommy Moffitt to come back. There's a lot of people wanting Corey Raymond to be returned. You know, everybody's got favorites, but when you bring in a new coach, like you alluded to with the running backs coach, we'll see. But LSU has never been shy to pay these assistants. So his staff would probably be a pretty seamless transition. But I don't think anybody knows it. That's why everybody's so up and on. Just think about Frank and what he's done. And he gravitated to everybody because he's done it in a classy way, got the former players back. Mm-hmm. You saw that emotion as he ran into the locker room and everybody's going crazy. But Frank's got a losing record at UTSA and McNeese. You just can't take that chance. Blake Baker's never been a head coach. I mean, there's so many variables on this thing. It's hard to ascertain who would be retained and who would be going elsewhere.
Dr. John Silly Butt with a super chat, very lucrative one. Thank you, Dr. Butler. He says, LSU understands that with NIL and the portal, the SEC is a players' league. Winners in this conference have always been great recruiters and motivators, not coaches from Saban to Meyer. Scarborough could call plays. Who fits that description? I
always appreciate you, Dr. Butler.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out what his question is. Who fits the description of?
Well, I think it sounds like the point is that, look.
And here's the thing. I don't think Kiffin is a great recruiter. I think he's got good staffers that do that.
Yeah.
How involved he is in recruiting, I think that might shock you as well. He doesn't do a lot of it.
Well, and now we're getting into some of the more.
He doesn't do a coach's show either. So you guys that like to go to TJ Ribs, I wonder if he comes to LSU, if that's going to be in the contract that it's mandatory.
Big Ragu and the Twins would love to get back on the microphone. What I was going to say though, Mike, you know he's going to attract quarterbacks. He's got a knack for developing quarterbacks. He does run his quarterback a lot. As you alluded to, Trinidad Chambliss, where did he find him? Their expected starter, the lefty, has not got much PT, and I think they're going to redshirt him. But skilled players, this is what I see Lane Kiffin salivating at. The skilled people and the talent that are in this state and in this recruiting area, that would be a lot of fun to watch them call plays. No disrespect to what we've seen with Joe Sloan and Alex Atkins. Hey, got to give a tip to them. I've never seen a drive with that many trick plays and gadget plays in the same drive. So kudos to you, Coach.
And they ran it well. And they ran them well.
Other than the Xavier Thomas pass to Trey'Dez Green, every one of them worked. And so we wouldn't be able to bitch about offensive play calling if Lane Kiffin came here.
Michael Douillon, time to get off the Lane train. Let's move on from drama and hire Dillingham. Well, I just have a hard time believing that you're not going to know by the weekend. I initially said Thursday. Maybe it ends up being by the end of the day tomorrow.
You mean with Kiffin's decision?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if not, then you absolutely move on. I mean, how long are you? I mean, they've got to be doing their due diligence and, and talking to others and not going to get, totally messed over because they're not prepared if the guy they want isn't the guy. So
Fish said, I don't want to see any more LSU bad defense. And of course, that would be interesting to see who he came in with his coordinator and the defensive philosophy. I applaud Blake Baker when he's being aggressive, and they were a little that first quarter. What were people saying in the press box when they were down 14-0?
Oh, here we go. It was no doubt they were going to lose that game.
I had so many text messages, and I don't respond to them. I could be Dr. Phil after the game, but not during the game. And I got people and former players saying, these guys have just thrown the towel in. And I'm going like, they start slow. But I did think Coach Baker was a little slow to get after the quarterback. And I do think when you look back at the Vandy and A&M and the Ole Miss games, he laid back instead of putting on pressure. Now you're starting to see Harold Perkins play a little bit better. I think you got to have that aggressive defense, regardless of who your coordinator is.
All right, guys, when you're looking for your next vehicle, make sure you support a local dealership that supports the Tigers. That's Matt Bowers Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram on Airline Highway near Behringer Foreman in Baton Rouge. They have an awesome NIL deal with LSU tight end Trey Green. You simply cannot beat the quality of service that they include in their lifetime powertrain warranty on all new vehicles. Shop them online today at mattbowerscdjr.com. Great Ram vehicles. And here we go.
What's up, Tiger Nation? It's Trey Green. Go see my friend Matt Bowers when you need your next ride.
Get Matt's lifetime powertrain warranty included with every new vehicle purchase.
Shop smart. Buy local. Matt Bowers, CDJR, Baton Rouge.
There you go. Matt Bowers. Definitely go test drive a new Ram or Jeep over there on Airline Highway. And this Sunday morning, get over to Capital City Grill for their brunch. Again, just a great brunch here in town, 100 Lafayette Street. The chicken and waffles are insane. Get the carrot cake to go. CapitalCityGrill.net. You can check out the menu. Of course, you already know that they're a great lunch spot anytime. Great burgers, sandwiches. The French dip sandwiches is incredible. All fresh fries. Nothing's ever frozen. And they just always a quality food experience at Capital City Grill. And need to talk about our friends over at Alumni Hall as well. Look, you can make your Christmas real easy. Do it at Alumni Hall and use the code TigerBait and get 10% off everything you buy. alumnihall.com/LSU online, or go to their beautiful store in Perkins Row. And they've got all the new quarter zips and the hoodies, all the sweatshirts. They've got the 2 for $38 LSU champion t-shirts on multiple tables up front, and you can mix and match those. And as always, you're going to get free shipping on all orders over $99. And really, what's great about the Christmas part of it, it's going to ship from the Baton Rouge store. So sometimes to get across town and back to your home, you're talking about an hour plus round trip, depending on when it is. Man, order it and have it shipped from the store. You get free shipping on orders over $99. Knock it out online. Take care of all the your loved ones that are LSU fans. Get it all done at alumnihall.com. All right, I got. Let's see. I had a super chat up here. Kenny Haynes. With Kiffin's antics this week, how can anyone think he won't do to you what he's doing to his current team?
I think that is a valid point. You and I have talked about this before. Yep. He was this close to being the Auburn coach and got cold feet at the last minute. Jimmy Sexton is the best in the business. He does this better than anybody to get his clients the most. But, man, it is tough to wait and see. And that is what we're talking about, the T word.
So who's next?
Can you trust this son of a gun? And would he be this way once he got here? I personally think that Kiffin has coveted this job for the last 4 or 5 years, but nothing is simple at LSU. Nothing is ever simple. But I understand what Dr. Kenny. I call him a doctor. He's a doctor of law in this chat. And like we said, Mike, if he was at LSU 10-1, now I know it's different with Ole Miss, but if he was at LSU 10-1 and did it with Bill Ornsberger, we're just going to talk. My family's going to go look at A&M one day and Alabama one day. All these fan bases that LSU fans that want him now would be MFing him, and you know it.
Yep.
So,
well, the thing is, from LSU, where do you go? NFL?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Alabama and Texas A&M, if they did it to two rivals, like Florida and LSU are to Ole Miss, that was the parallel.
Yep.
But that is, once again, character, trust, integrity, those things that you try to see with the next coach.
If Ole Miss was 7-4 right now, we wouldn't be questioning his character.
Well, he wouldn't. Yeah,
the fact that he might leave a playoff team.
BK left Cincinnati undefeated, went to Notre Dame. A lot of this stuff has happened.
American Patriot with a super chat. Imagine the NIL money that would pour in with Kiffin. It already has been. I can tell you that for a fact. It already has been. There's been commitments made for days, big ones. Nancy Sloan, would Moffitt come back? We talk about that every week. Grandbabies have a big effect on stuff like that.
By the way,
new regime, nobody left over that was a part of, his departure and not being retained. We'll see. Maybe he loves it over there.
Yeah, Mike Elko just signed a new deal. They got that straight, and so he's an excellent coach. They've got him locked up. Interesting on Tommy Moffitt if he'd come back.
Barry, I'm going to talk to my Florida source later again this evening, but they were extremely confident this morning, and my Ole Miss source, when I relayed what the Florida guy was telling me, said that's sort of what we're hearing on our end. And then this afternoon, that changed in a hurry. And some of that stuff with Sumrall in an interview that wasn't is a part of it. I think it all goes back to what I said Monday night. It's not about who's going to give Lane Kiffin $500,000 more than the other one. It's about the pot of NIL money that you can guarantee that he's going to have to work with every year.
He will be the highest paid college football coach. And of course, Kirby is always got the agents. If you want a natty, you're going to get one more dollar than the highest paid. But LSU, Florida, or Ole Miss will reset the college football salary market, whoever ends up getting Lane Kiffin.
Dirty 504. If I'm an Ole Miss fan, I want him coaching the playoffs, even if he is leaving. I wouldn't. Would you?
Look.
I don't know how I would enjoy that.
I don't know how this is going to work out. It's problematic with the dates, the timing, and where they're at. Oh, by the way, John Sumrall and Tulane are 8-2, and they were projected last night in the CFP rankings to possibly make the playoffs. He could be in the same pickle, and you want to get the best job. You want to make more money, but man, it's tough to leave a team because that's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Ole Miss fans. I remember Trev Alberts. You remember that on ESPN? You remember what he said about Ole Miss? Pissed him off at the time. Probably pissed him off.
Once a run, always a run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Once a run, always a run. And that's kind of a shame. Not that you feel sorry for them.
I use that quote every year with my Ole Miss friend.
But I'm just saying, here they are. They've got their best team. They're 10-1. And more than likely.
After Ole Miss won, he texted back to me earlier this season.
But Mike, they take care of Mississippi State. They're more than likely going to host a game at Oxford.
Yep.
So this is very complicated with how all this shake
Right.
that. Do you think Ole Miss is pressuring him to have a decision by Friday or so?
I don't know that it's. I don't know what the word you use. Demanding, ultimatum,
Pressuring him.
pressure. Yeah, pressure. I mean, LSU's putting pressure. He's got pressure on himself. Who that fat man? Lane will meet with Ole Miss team Sunday night. He will be introduced at LSU Monday morning. All right.
Okay.
Who that fat man? And his image is Santa Claus.
Okay.
So he's delivering Lane Kiffin.
All right. I had a buddy of mine telling me St. Nick was coming this year.
George Guyan, good stuff, guys, with a super chat. Thank you, George. Gary Lester says Summerall to LSU, Baker to Tulane.
Summerall could be a fallback guy. You asked me earlier.
I like Summerall.
Summerall could be a fallback guy, and here's the key. Here's the key.
Who would you take, Summerall or Dillingham?
Summerall, you have a guy that's in state and knows about here. The only problem I have with Dillingham is he's never been in the FCC. He's a young guy.
Well,
I think he's got a bright
for
future.
1 year.
No, but I'm just saying, I would probably, look, you're not going to go wrong with Summerall or Dillingham, in my opinion, because I want to see him go young. But it's crazy when you think about the potential. But then again, let's throw this out there. How is this fan base going to react if they get left out at the altar and they get played? And that's why Verge and everybody in that room has got to do their due diligence and have.
What if Verge delivers Lane Kiffin? What does that do for Verge? Huh?
He walking around like,
Because here's the rub. There's a whole lot of negatives with Lane Kiffin. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. There's no denying it. Even the people who love Lane Kiffin, will tell you all of his faults. Okay, but there's no denying when you look at the board of candidates to be the next head football coach. There's no one that's going to move the needle as far as fan excitement like Lane Kiffin. Whoever your second place guy is, it's not even close. It's just not.
And they all have baggage.
And they'll still be excited no matter what the outlook is for next season, because he's going to be given a mulligan. Because in essence, he's inheriting a little bit better of a situation than BK, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the thing that's up in the air, Mike.
And then
guys,
and then the schedule.
Yeah, schedule, and you don't know, but I feel sure if you keep Austin, you're going to bring in another 20 players. You're not going to have a problem with skilled people. You're not going to have a problem with a quarterback. But we know that the house has to be built from the foundation. And let's be honest, not to tinkle on Jake Flint, but you got to get somebody in here that can get these guys bigger, stronger, meaner, tougher, that want to throw people around like an empty Coke can. When I watch Georgia, that's who I see. And, oh, by the way, Kirby Smart had a great quote this week. I'm sure you heard it.
Go ahead.
He said, everybody wants a check. If you don't bring the physicality, you're not going to get your check or you're going to get booted. And I think you've got to get them involved in playing for more than just the money. And LSU has got to get stronger, better, deeper, and meaner at the line of scrimmage. And that was just unacceptable what they've had at the offensive line this year.
Spectrum WellCare. If Kiffin is hired, Aaron Anderson definitely coming back. That would be great.
Would Weeks.
You need Braylon Moore back. Who else do you got to get back? Right. I wonder what Lane Kiffin thinks of Michael Van Buren,
who, by the way, in the interviews this week said, "Look, I love it here. I want to be back." Van Buren will probably have a spot, but he'd also be cognizant of the fact that Kiffin's going to bring in a couple of quarterbacks.
I see no similarity between Billy Napier and John Summerall, Stephen Miller,
No.
other than the fact that the level of ball they're playing. Summerall is got personality. I think they're both likable, but there's a reason why every school in the Southeastern Conference that's looking for a head coach has Summerall somewhere on their board.
And I don't hear any pop on Billy Napier.
No. And there it is, right there on your screen, everybody. Genesis of Lafayette 2025 GV80 or the GV80 Coupe, 0.99% APR for 36 months, 1.99 APR for 60 months, or 2.99 for 72 months. Those are insane deals. The GV80 is an absolute fantastic vehicle. That's why you need to get over to Genesis of Lafayette, your premier luxury dealership. They offer the finest cars and SUVs in the region, and located at 6600 Johnson Street. Huge LSU fans. Shop them at genesisoflafayette.com or call them at 877-856-2961. There is a reason they sell more Genesis vehicles than any other Genesis dealer in the state of Louisiana. Believe me, we hit them all. None of them called you back. None of them wanted to lift a finger when we said we wanted a silver with that color interior. Genesis of Lafayette went all the way to South Florida, and we had one in a week and a half after waiting 6 months for the local dealers to even act like they were making some effort. Genesis of Lafayette. All right. And I need to talk about the newest hot oyster spot in Baton Rouge, and that's Bay's Oyster Bar, downtown Baton Rouge. It's the old Jolie Pearl, and I've got the menu right here. Listen to this: barbecue Nola style oysters, brie and bacon oysters, the classic char grilled, corn mock shoe oysters. Those are insanely good. Oysters Bienville, oysters Rockefeller, and they got the brie and bacon sandwich, the turkey brie and bacon sandwich, the classic roast beef po' boy, great whiskey selection, top notch bourbon, and they've got a massive craft beer selection as well. 315 North Boulevard. Get over to Bay's Oyster Bar. Let's see what we got here.
Got to call timeout. Don't have the play in time.
No, that's right. Yeah, this has been a common question from Coach Ken. What about Elijah Haven if Kiffin is the head coach?
Interesting. He said that. I was going to ask you about that. This is the other thing. Look, Pops Houston's going to come here if it's Lane Kiffin because he's perfect for him. But how would that affect Elijah Haven in your opinion?
Well, they need more than one. They need a slew of quarterbacks. It's really interesting to see how this plays out and how long it's going to go. So, yeah.
All right, question for me, my last one. How many years do you think the LSU fan base would expect for them to be in Atlanta with Lane Kiffin if he, in fact, does take this gig? 2 years, 3 years, honeymoon, what?
I don't know. Couple?
Probably.
Robert Smith, LSU's turned to a women's basketball school and baseball, of course. That's part of the rub, Robert, is that I say the rub is that LSU is successful in national championship contenders in a lot of sports. And so when you're dividing up that revenue sharing deal, you got to take care of the women. You got to take care of gymnastics. You got to take care of baseball. Football, of course, needs to get the big lion's share. Who else am I missing? That's why it's a bit strained out there.
All right. Well, let me ask the question, Robert.
Coaches jockeying for position.
Yeah, let me ask the question, Robert. So what other schools other than Alabama have won 3 national championships in 22 years, 23 years? Just give me another one. It's down right now. But 03, 07, and 19. Name me another team, Robert. You say it's not a football school. Name me another freaking team that's won 3 natties in 20-something years, other than Bama, which has won 6 with Nick. Just name me one.
Yeah.
Clemson's won a couple. Georgia's won some. Florida's won some. I think it hits on the thing. That's why I was asking you the question, Mike. How quickly could he establish LSU being talked about every Saturday morning and being preseason number 10 or higher, and then moving on from that? Because look, he can win 8 or 9 games in Ole Miss, and everybody's saying, yeah, that's okay. You win 8 or 9 over here, and people going like, "What the f?"
Evidently, I'm just now seeing in our software here that our stream to Facebook did not take. So I'm going to download a copy and upload a copy to Facebook, so they'll have to see it after the fact. But Chance Babin, Whit Weeks better treat Landry good till this deal is signed.
I'm hoping Whit Weeks comes back regardless of the situation. I don't think that he wants to leave LSU. I don't think his market value is going to be that great with this injury. So,
yeah, everybody's giving you the Ohio State answer.
What's that?
Talking about the number of national championships outside Alabama.
I don't think they've won 3 since 2003.
Austin, Buddy's getting spicy like that Manda sausage.
Yeah.
You got any tidbits before we get out of here?
Don't forget, you can pick up that Manda sausage. We are the official smoked sausage of LSU Athletics. And obviously, a great sponsor of mine, as well as Demco, Dykes Electric member co-op. Nice not to have to go to the Demco Storm Watch. Nice not to have to watch the Weather Channel. And yeah, I do get spicy when people forget that this has been a pretty damn good run in the last 20-something years. And when you have that kind of success, it leads to an insatiable appetite. I'm just going to give this parting word. Don't let this consume your life to where you're not worried about your business, your family, your animals, or whatever. It's great to keep up with it. Had a guy had a birthday party for his son. He's more worried about, just go.
I'm going to disagree with Buddy. I want you to be consumed by this, and I want you to go subscribe to TigerBait because we want you as a subscriber for $1.
You know, you need
Buddy's right.
You need the clicks. My point is that don't let it get to where you lose focus of what's really important, and that's taking care of your family, worshiping the good Lord, and staying healthy. And I hope that all of us will get through this time where you get up and down. It's been, just like you said, it changes every 6 hours.
Yep.
But take care of your people that you love, folks.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. You need to go subscribe. Myself and Preston are going to continue to drop some tidbits on our message board. I think Preston's going to have something that might drop before 10 tonight. We're going to see it. We're working on something, but we're dropping new stuff multiple times a day, and we're active on our Tiger Den message board. A lot of great conversation about the ins and outs of this coaching search, and we're dropping every little nuance and tidbit and scuttlebutt that we can get on TigerBait.com. That's why you need to go subscribe for $1 and be a part of our TigerBait community. If you enjoyed the show, hit the like button. And thanks to everybody who participated. Thanks for all the super chats. And Press and I will be back here. Knock on wood. Keep him and his wife Alyssa in your thoughts and prayers. The babies should be any minute. And so post-game Saturday night after Western Kentucky. Unless something breaks before then, we might have to do a special show. And so that's why you need to hit the subscribe button, that notification bell. You'll get an alert if we do a special live show for any big breaking news. And maybe there might be something by the end of the week. Good night.